Hello lovelies, Nick from Naturally Nick here, and I help women choose cancer-kicking foods so that they can live a long and healthy life. Now, welcome to my Creative Vegetable Series 101, and this week we're going to be featuring cauliflower. I just want to show you 4 easy ways to use cauliflower just to get more vegetables into our life. Okay, so what I want to show you first is cauliflower steaks, and we begin by chopping, and we want to get to the middle as quickly as possible because then we get some cauliflower steaks that stick together. Now, we don't want that end, so we just cut that off, but then we're going to create all of these steaks. Now, don't worry, I will tell you what you're going to do with the bits that don't steak. So, I've got a couple of steaks here, put them on the tray. Now you can just pop them in the oven like that. If you want to, you can put some herbamare, which is the salt that I use, or some herbs and spices, whatever you want to do to spice it up. Or we can get a little bit more creative and put a topping onto it. And I cannot remember where I adapted this recipe from, but it is so delicious. So you get some hummus. Now, ideally, we would make our own hummus, but life gets busy, and this is one of the few hummuses that I actually like because it doesn't have any canola oil in it, and all the other ingredients are pretty good. It tastes pretty good as well, because some of them don't. And in a bowl, you mix up some, or you dice some red capsicum, dice some spring onion, finely chop up some spring onion, and then chop up some coriander. Now, if you don't like coriander, then maybe switch it out for maybe basil or parsley or something like that. Pop all those 3 ingredients in your bowl and then add the hummus. I'm going to put the whole lot in because I always overdo vegetables. Always overdo things like that. And then mix it around. Oh, this is so delicious. This is such a great lunch or even a dinner as a side dish. Just amazing, so delicious. All right, when we've done that, we then get a spoon. Should have had that organised. And then just plonk some of that on top of these cauliflower steaks. They're not cooked. Remember, they're the raw cauliflower steaks. We don't need to cook them beforehand. Pop them on here, and then you're just going to pop that whole thing in the oven and bake for, I don't know, about 30 minutes. Really just waiting until the cauliflower steaks are cooked, and they don't take long, 30-40 minutes. Pop it in about a moderate oven, and you will be amazed at how delicious that is, hot or cold. I do both. Okay, so what do we do now with the rest of the cauliflower that we don't use for the cauliflower steak, because we don't want to waste it, of course. And what we're going to do is 2 things you can do, well, 3 things actually. You can either pop these into the blender and make some cauliflower rice. So you just grab the raw cauliflower, pop it in here, however much you want to make, and then turn this blender on, bit of noise, turn it on. Okay, and there you have your cauliflower rice. And with cauliflower rice, now some people cook this up in a little bit of oil. But what you can do is, because I'm really trying to minimise the amount of liquid oil that we use, we've kind of gone overboard and think that because an oil is healthy, then it's, you know, it can have an unlimited amount of it. But that's not working. So what we need to do is just have, try and minimise the amount of liquid oil that we're using. So you can spread it out on your tray like that. Try and get a nice thin layer. Once again, sprinkle it with your herbamare. You could also sprinkle it with some nutritional yeast, which is a delicious, it kind of tastes like flaky Parmesan cheese. It's a great vegan alternative to cheese. And it's got lots of B vitamins and all sorts of minerals in it. It's a really healthy product. So you can sprinkle that with whatever you like and pop it in the oven, and then you've got cauliflower rice. And so you can use that as you would rice, or I just pop it through a salad. Just cook it up, and then you've got these lovely cheesy, salty little bits that you can put in any salad, and just to, you know, get some more cauliflower into us. The other thing you can do, if you've got some leftover cauliflower rice, is to pop it in a little bag and throw it in the freezer. And then the next time you're making a casserole, you can just pop it in there, and it will cook in the casserole, and you just got these little bits in there, and no one will know the difference. Now, I do this with a lot of vegetables. You can do this with broccoli, cauliflower, kale even. Rice it up, pop it in a little bag into the freezer, and then put it into your casseroles. And with the kale, you just got these little green flecks that, you know, hopefully no one's going to know what it is if they don't like kale. So that's the second thing. The third thing you can do with those leftovers is make cauliflower popcorn. Now, really, this is just a fancy way of doing roast cauliflower, but it's interesting and people like it. So you basically just break the cauliflower up into sort of popcorn, large popcorn sized pieces, and pop them on your tray. This is a great job that you could get your primary school children to do, just to break it apart, or use a little knife and pop them on. So put them on your tray, spread them out. Now, the way that I now put oil onto any roasted vegetables is I get a teaspoon of oil, put it on my hand, mix it up, and then just brush them like that. Pick them up, do this. So whether this is roasted pumpkin, roast sweet potato, anything, that's the tiny little amount of oil that I now use. And honestly, you can't tell the difference. I have even gone to cooking up my onion, garlic and ginger when I'm making a casserole with a little bit of water rather than the oil, and no one can tell the difference. So it was a really hard transition because, you know, we've just been using oil forever, but you just can't tell the difference. And I would rather get my healthy fats from whole food sources. So you know the way that we've sort of transitioned and gone, oh, it's okay to have whole fruit but not fruit juice? I love this analogy with healthy fats as well. So let's get our healthy fats from whole food sources like nuts and seeds, avocados, whole olives, rather than the liquid form, because it's too easy to overeat the liquid form. All right, so we've got that. We've got them now. We've brushed them with a little bit of oil. So now we sprinkle with some herbamare, my favourite salt, and then whatever other herbs and spices that you like. If you like a little bit of cayenne pepper, maybe, I don't know, some Mexican spices, whatever you like. And also, you can also put a little bit of nutritional yeast on there if you want a cheesy flavour. And then once again, you just pop that in the oven for around about, 20-30 minutes, 180 degrees, and they will cook and go a little bit brown, and the kids will love them. In fact, adults love them too. All right, the last thing I want to show you is the cauliflower cheese sauce. Now, I have had people love this so much that they reckon that they will never make a normal, they'll never make a normal white sauce again. You really can replicate the flavours of a normal white sauce really well. Okay. So this time you are using a cooked cauliflower. So I have cooked up some cauliflower, steamed it up I should say, pop it in, and you will want a little bit of fluid. So you could use a little bit of stock, you could use a little bit of milk. Of course I don't do dairy, so I use some kind of almond milk. There are so many almond milks on the market, just find one that you like. And I especially encourage people who say I don't like almond milk in my tea because it separates, please experiment, because this one in particular, and there's some other great ones, they don't separate in, say, a hot cup of tea. And I really enjoy a cup of tea now with this. So I've put a bit of that in. Now the trick to this is to put in some flavours that you would normally expect in a white sauce. So of course we want some herbamare. We also want a little hint of nutmeg, and I mean a hint, just a tiny bit. Obviously, if you're cooking more, you can put a little bit more in there. Say some black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, all those sorts of things. Just gives it a really great flavour. Now, I'm making this a quick and easy way, but if I wanted a really special white sauce, I would actually cook up the some onion and some garlic in a pan and then add it to it. But you know, for everyday white sauces, this is it. And then really you just mix it up until you get a lovely smooth consistency. Now if it's looking a bit too much like mashed cauliflower, then add a little bit more of your fluid. And depending on the power and strength of your food processor, like if we were using a Thermomix, that would have been done 2 seconds ago. But this is going to take a few more goes, which I won't subject you to. But as you can see, you've now got this lovely white sauce that you can use as a white sauce, and it's made of cauliflower. And I just get so excited at all these different ways that we can get more vegetables in a fun, delicious way into our life. So thank you very much for hanging around. I am so far away from the camera that I have no idea who's watching, but thank you. And I'll see you soon. Bye.